back to my YouTube channel. I'm Abiodun Adelu. I'm a relationship and personal development coach. I'm excited to have you here. If this is your first time, you are powerfully welcome. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the notification button to get notified when I post subsequent videos. They are very, very wonderful and you won't want to miss any of them. On this particular video, we'll be talking about love language. Now, love language is something that you must have heard about, and if you've not heard about it, that's fine. So there's a particular book that was written by Chapman, I think. It is titled The 5 Love Languages. And that book talks about 5 love languages. What are love languages? Love languages are psychological classification of what makes human feel loved and appreciated. And they have been classified to be 5 of them. So we have the first one, which is the word of affirmation. The second one is physical touch. The third one is receiving gift. The fourth one is act of service. And then the last one is quality time. So you must have heard of these things before. So these are the ways whereby love is communicated to people. So when people speak these things, when people engage in these things, when they speak words to you, when they give you gift, when they spend time with you, when they touch you, when they help you to do something, it makes you feel loved. Now, psychologists find out that there is one of them that will stand out as your primary love language. Now, primary love language doesn't mean that others don't speak to you. It only means that this one speaks to you more than the other ones. So when somebody speaks your primary love language, for example, if your primary love language is receiving gifts, so anytime somebody gives you gifts, it makes you feel very, very loved and appreciated. It doesn't mean that you don't appreciate the other ones, like somebody spending quality time with you, somebody giving you words of affirmation. In other words, somebody is encouraging you. Wow, I love the way you are. You are beautiful, you are smart and all that. So you appreciate all of them. But one of them will stand out as your primary love language. Now, let me illustrate love language with a particular story I heard some times ago. I heard of a story of a particular couple that have been very busy with work, and they decided to spend the evening together because they felt like they've been coming very late from work and they've not really had time to talk like that. So let them just spend the time together in the evening. And the husband, okay, both of them agreed, will leave work early, maybe around 4 o'clock, and then by 6 o'clock they'll be back home. It's Lagos, Nigeria. So a lot of traffic jams happen. So they felt they will leave work by 4 o'clock, and then by 6 o'clock they will get home. So the husband and the wife agreed on that. So the husband left the work true to his word. He left the work around 4 o'clock. And as he was coming, he just felt like, oh, there's a particular ice cream that my wife loves. And if I buy this ice cream alone, it will add another spice to this romantic evening. So, but the place where they sell the ice cream is on another side of the town. So he felt like he should quickly branch there and buy the ice cream and go home. Now the wife is at home. The wife also left the workplace early, and then she went home, prepared a very, very nice dinner, lit up some candlesticks, and made the environment to be romantic, you know. So the husband, on the other hand, was driving away to quickly branch and get the ice cream. Now, on his way coming back from where he got the ice cream, he was held up in a traffic jam. And it was a terrible one. He was there for hours. He didn't get home till around 9 or 10 in the night. So when he got home, he was frustrated because he couldn't eventually meet up with the time. The wife was angry. She had prepared the food, she has put on wonderful clothes, and she was looking very, very sparkling good for the husband. And she was frustrated that even though they had planned to spend the evening together, the husband still messed up the period and didn't come home on time. Now the husband was also angry because he went that length to get the wife her favorite ice cream, and he felt like the wife did not appreciate him. That the reason why I was held up in a traffic jam is because I was trying to get you your favorite ice cream. And the wife said something. The wife said, I would have rather you come home than go to buy me ice cream, because what I need with you is quality time, not ice cream. So the wife said, even if you feel like you want to buy me an ice cream, you should have come home first, picked me up, and then both of us would go together to buy the ice cream. Even if we're head up in traffic jam on our way, it would have been better because at least I would have spent the time with you in the traffic jam. So the husband was trying to speak the language of buying the wife a gift. The wife said, what I need from you is attention. What I need from you is quality time. So this illustrated how differences in our love language can cause frustration in relationship and marriage. You can well predict how that night will end. Both of them went to sleep and then they were both angry and frustrated. This is a typical scenario of when two people are speaking different love languages and they are not understanding each other. So that's why the psychologists classify what makes you feel loved the most into 5. And like I earlier said, they are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gift, act of service, and a physical touch. Now, all of these, of course, you can get the book, The 5 Love Languages by Chapman, for broader perspective on that. So they broke down each of them in such a way that you really understand them and you will easily find your love language. So now, the question we should ask ourselves is, why do we need to know our primary love language? Why do I need to know my primary love language? And why do I need to know my partner's primary love language? Knowing your primary love language and knowing your partner's primary love language will save you both a lot of frustrations. There are a lot of things that the person will be complaining about. The person will say that you don't love me, you don't appreciate me, and then you are wondering, I don't love you and I do this and I do this and I do that, and then you are frustrated also. But when both of you understand your primary love language, you can speak that language to the person and the person feel loved. So if, for example, your partner's primary love language is quality time, no matter what gift you buy for the person won't value it as much as you spending time with them. On the other hand, if somebody's primary love language is receiving gift, even if you spend 5 hours with them, if you do not come with gift, it is not appreciated. And funny enough, for those whose primary love language is receiving gift, it doesn't matter how big the gift is. They just want to feel loved and appreciated, that when you were coming, you remember them and you bought something along. So that is what matters. It could be something very small, it could be something very big. But one thing is that when you give them a gift, they really appreciate it. Number 2, it makes your partner feel loved and appreciated. So when you speak your partner's primary love language, the person feels appreciated, the person feels loved, and both of you are eventually happy. Number 3, this is very important. It provides additional information for both of you to watch each other's back. Now, if I know that my partner's primary love language is quality time, anytime I see somebody, maybe like an opposite gender, trying to speak that love language to the person, I'll begin to call the person's attention that, my dear, you know that this is your primary love language, and if this person is speaking it, it may eventually begin to break down your emotional wall. So you need to be careful with this person, because this person is using your primary love language, and it may eventually get you one day, because this is something you really appreciate. So when you see somebody outside begin to speak that primary love language to your partner, you can call your partner's attention and say, you know you are vulnerable to this area, so please be careful with this person. Number 4, as a person also, it helps you to create a kind of emotional security around yourself. Now that you know that this is your primary love language, it helps you to watch and be careful when people speak that to you. Now, as a lady, if my primary love language is receiving gift, I need to be very careful how I receive gifts from people, because gift can break down my emotional wall. So when people begin to give me gifts, especially one person, a male, is giving you gift over and over again and you're collecting it, one day that gift will blind you. In fact, for people that their love language is not even receiving gift sometimes eventually break down the emotional wall, and they begin to consider somebody that normally they wouldn't have considered, much more when receiving gift is your primary love language. So you must be careful when somebody is speaking your primary love language. If you're not ready for a relationship with that person, then you need to cut it off. Now, how do you know your primary love language? Remember I said that all of these 5 can speak to you, but one of them stand out. The first one is to take a love language test. Go and get that book I talked about, Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages. There are tests in that book for you to know your primary love language. So that's the first one. You could have noticed some people that when they are talking, they always love to touch. Okay, do you see what happened yesterday? And then they would have touched. Sometimes you're not comfortable with the way they are touching you, and they are unconscious. It's not like they are intentionally touching you. Sometimes they'll just be touching you and all that, and it's not maybe a romantic touch or something. Just trying to connect with you as they are talking. It could mean that is their primary love language. And if they are not very careful, they are vulnerable in that area. And the number 3 way I will recommend for you to know your primary love language is to ask yourself, which one do I complain most about not receiving? Or which one does my partner complains most about not receiving? If your partner most times complain, you don't call me, you don't check on me, you don't call me, and then you are wondering, we talked in the morning, we talked in the afternoon, we talked in the night, and the person said, I want to spend time with you, and I want us to talk for a long period of time, or I want us to sit together and talk. If your partner is always complaining about you not spending time with them, that is their primary love language. If your partner is always complaining that you don't buy stuff for them, you don't buy gifts for them, it may be a clue that is their primary love language. So when you watch what people complain about the most, it could be their primary love language. And you yourself, if you watch what you complain about the most, it can give you a clue of what your primary love language is. Love language is a very, very interesting topic, and I want to encourage you to go and read that book and study more about love language. It will help you, and it will help your relationship. Sometimes knowing your love language and knowing your partner's love language alone can take away a lot of frustrations in relationship and marriage. So this will greatly help you. I hope you have been blessed by this. And remember, once again, if you've not subscribed, subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the notification button to get notified when I post subsequent videos. It promises to be exciting. And make sure you check around for some other videos I've posted. There have been many topics that we've talked about, and you'll really be blessed listening to them. So thank you very much. See you in the next video.